Today's notes are 8.1, inverse variation. Inverse variation looks like this: y equals a divided by x. So when y is by itself, on the other side you should have something divided by x. That is inverse variation. So for 1 through 3, we need to figure out whether it's direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. We're going to do this by solving for y, getting y by itself on one side, and comparing it to what we have up here. So for the first one, in order to get y by itself, we're going to have to divide by x on both sides. Once you divide by x on both sides, the x's are going to cancel out. Y is equal to 5 divided by x. If you can see, what we got looks like the inverse variation. So for this one, we're going to write inverse variation. Let's move on to number 2. For number 2, y is already by itself. If we compare number 2 to our inverse variation, they do not look the same. This one's actually going to be neither. Let's move on to number 3. For number 3, in order to get y by itself, we need to multiply both sides by 2. Once we multiply both sides by 2, we get y equals 2x. This does not look like inverse variation. The x is not dividing anything, so this is direct variation. So let's go over 1 through 3 again. So if it's something divided by x, it's going to be inverse variation. If it's x plus or minus something, we're going to have neither. If it's something times x, it's direct variation. Let's make a little note of that. So direct variation is y equals a times x. Okay, now this time we're given a table, and we also need to figure out whether we have direct variation, inverse variation, or neither. Okay, up here, if you do y times x, we're going to get a. For inverse variation, for direct variation, we would do y divided by x equals a. Okay, and by using this, it's gonna help us figure out whether we have direct or inverse for number 4 and 5. So go ahead and make a chart like this. If you get all of the same values on the top row, it's gonna be inverse variation. If you get all of the same numbers on the bottom row, it's gonna be direct variation. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. And 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. This already looks like it's going to be inverse variation. Okay, so I'll work them out just to show you that they're not the same. Negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Negative 6 over 4 is negative 3 over 2. Negative 4 over 6 is negative 2 over 3. And then negative 3 over 8 is just negative 3 over 8. Since these values are not the same, we're going to go with this is inverse variation. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. Draw your chart. Okay, so by multiplying 1 times 2, we're going to get 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 16 is 64. Now the bottom part, 2 over 1 is 2. 4 over 2 is 2. 8 over 3 is just 8 over 3. 16 over 4 is 4. Since neither the top row is the same, the bottom row is also not the same, so this one is going to be neither. Okay, so let's move on to the bottom. Okay, so for these, they tell us that the variables x and y vary inversely. We need to use the given values to write an equation relating x and y, then find y when x equals 5. So inversely means using the equation y equals a divided by x. I got this equation from the top. I'm going to do number 8 and 9. I want you to try number 6 and 7 on your own. So using the equation for inverse variation, let's plug into our equation. Y is 7 divided by 20. We don't know what A is, and X equals 20. So let's solve for A. We need to multiply 20 by both sides. The 20s are going to cancel out. We get A equals 7. Now that we know that A equals 7, we can plug into A to our original equation. And this is our general equation. Now using this equation, they tell us that X equals 5, so we need to plug that in and figure out what Y is. When we plug it in, we just see that Y equals 7 over 5. You can't reduce that, so that's our answer. Moving on to number 9. So once again, we're plugging in. Y is 3 over 2. We don't know what A is, and X equals 10 over 9. Now to get rid of this 10 over 9 and solve for A, we need to multiply both sides by 10 over 9. This is going to cancel out with this, and we're left with 10 over 9 times 3 over 2 equals A. 10 times 3 is 30. 9 times 12 is 18. That reduces down to 5 over 3, and that is what A is. So our equation, when we plug in our A, is Y equals 5 over 3x. Now we're going to plug in 5 to our equation and see what we get for Y. So when X is 5, these 5's are going to cancel out. We're going to get Y equals 1/3. And that's our solution. The next part is a word problem. It says when the temperature is held constant, the volume V of a gas is inversely proportional to the pressure P of the gas on its container. The pressure of 32 pounds per inch results in a volume of 20 cubic feet. What is the pressure if the volume becomes 10 cubic feet? Okay, so since we're using the inverse variation function, we're going to go ahead and plug in. When we have 32, when we have a pressure of 32, we're going to get 20 in volume. So that means that 32 represents X and Y is 20. Now we're going to solve for A. So multiply both sides by 32. The 32's are going to cancel out. We're going to get A is equal to 640. Now we need to figure out what the volume is going to be when we have 10 cubic feet. So we're plugging in X is 10. Y equals 640 over 10. Zeros cancel out. Y equals 64. And the 64 represents the pounds per square inch. So pounds over inches squared. And that is our answer. Go ahead and try and do number 11 on your own. It's a similar problem. And that's it.